Now you will see the ability to maintain nearer, GDPR, CCPA and most any data regulatory compliance for your legacy RDBMS data, thanks to the marvels of Apache Spark 2.4.3 with Java 8 in the secure Spring framework, while allowing for the scalability, speed, and advantages of Apache Hadoop 3.1, for it runs beneath Yarn, and do so purely in memory, without the need to ingest the data into HDFS. Though we do recommend the centralization of a company's complete data assets inclusive of RDBMS, mainframe, Office, PDF, XML, email, OCR, biometrics, mostly facial recognition, big data, HBase, HDFS, and others, when they need to truly attempt to be near complete GDPR compliant, inclusive of requirements like indirect identifiers. Here we see the test MySQL tables have no encrypted values before our processing. Now we set up the connection criteria for MySQL, or DB2, SQL Server, Oracle, Teradata, Postgre, and shortly others, and make our selections of the patterns of personal information or patterns of any information we want to discover, along with the discovery of any person's personal information for the purpose of encryption, deletion, or to know what information we have stored on that person by entering it into the delimited box. The user selects the preferred action, such as discover the data but just create metadata catalogs or encrypt the discovered personal information and write the file back to the RDBMS or HDFS or HBase. Test the database connection, and if the green connection is successful, then you may submit the job. Earlier we saw that no values were encrypted, now we see that all the values for Lisa except here origin are encrypted. We also see that the genders of M are encrypted, as well as are all the emails in the email column, as we selected the email pattern to be discovered and encrypted and the file to be written back to the RDBMS database. We see the same is true for table 2 that was also requested to be processed at the same time. Encrypted data may be decrypted for processes such as point of sale, online sales, customer service, and more, and done so through BigDataRevealed's Spring Framework Spark Java APIs with the proper credentials. Now we are going to run against the same MySQL tables, though this time we will write the output result of the encrypted table to HDFS. We need to enter a folder path for the file to be stored in, as well as change the option for the run. We added the same personal discover values for Lisa, though this time are discovering for IP addresses versus emails. While we wait for the run to complete, let's view the metadata catalog for the prior run. Here we can see the values and patterns that were discovered, what file path, what column, what row, and how many total rows in the table. Now we exported the metadata catalog results so we can again view the results of the discovered personal information, send this information to others internally, or use this spreadsheet to send to the requesting citizen or customer. This spreadsheet can also be used by the ETL team or others to apply remediation or validate remediation already applied. Now with the BigDataRevealed HDFS content viewer, we can see the files that were written to HDFS versus MySQL. We see the Lisa data once again is encrypted, and this time we see that the IP addresses are encrypted, and the emails are not encrypted. Again, the user has the choice to just have the metadata created, the tables written back to the database, the files written to HDFS or HBase, or a combination of these. I am showing an example of a connection and encryption for DB2 as I had a special request for this. As I set up the database connection requirements, I will also select to have the output results written back to the DB2 database with the email and IP addresses encrypted and Lisa's personal information encrypted. And it is always very important to test your connection to ensure a successful run. As we view test data 1, we see IP addresses in phone number. Test data 2 looks the same. They both have emails in the emails columns. We will be discovering for these two patterns. As discussed, I have selected to discover for the patterns of emails, IP addresses and Lisa's personal information, and I am submitting the job. Again, the results will be written back to the DB2 database as we selected. As we review the results, we see that Lisa's personal data is encrypted in Table 1 as well as the IP addresses that we found to be in phone number and are the emails encrypted as expected in Table 1 that we are viewing. The very same is true for our findings for the values in Table 2 for IP address, emails and Lisa's personal information. Looks like Spark 2.4.3 with Java and JDBC and Apache 3.1 and Big Data Revealed are working as planned. Here we are reviewing the metadata catalog for the discovery of patterns for IP addresses and emails as well as for Lisa's personal information for our run against 2DB2 tables. As we have seen before, we see the table name and column and rows and other important metadata that will be shared and useful by the ETL dev team, data scientists, data stewards, stakeholders, and many others. A quick recap of your options when processing against RDBMS. 1. No encryption, only discovery which creates metadata. 2. No encryption, only pattern discovery and import table into HDFS for later use. 3. Encryption and store output in HDFS. 4. Encryption and store output in Amazon's AWS S3. 5. Encryption and store output in the originating database. 6. Encryption and store output in HDFS and originating database. 7. Encryption and store output in AWS S3 and originating database. GDPR and CCPA, video of BigDataRevealed's technological breakthrough using new Spark with JDBC to discover, encrypt, and rewrite citizens' personal information to the RDBMS file, HDFS, our metadata catalog, or almost anywhere. Also perfect for completion of a DPIA. Take advantage of the Hadoop ecosystem's distributed memory power and scalability while never having to ingest all your legacy RDBMS into HDFS, thanks to Sparks 2.4.3, Java 8, Apache 3.1, and Big Data Revealed. Big Data Revealed's simple-to-use interface will make a connection to most any JDBC compliant data source such as Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, Teradata, PostgreSQL, and many others. If your current or immediate needs are to protect the majority of your customers' personal information, then I would suggest connecting directly to your JDBC files through Big Data Revealed for swift discovery and remediation, encryption, of citizens' personal information in accordance with GDPR and other regulatory requirements. You can also complete steps that satisfy a customer's right of erasure, and right of information. Reach Steve at 847-791-7838.